Last month, I introduced you to Ty Hosmann, a sales associate from Victory Chevrolet GMC in Paola, Kansas, who had a huge inventory of used Chevy Bolts that qualified for the used EV tax credit from the federal government. Well, it's time for an update. When I interviewed Ty Hosmann from Victory Chevrolet GMC last month, that video got a lot of views very quickly, and then it kind of, petered off. So this is more like news, and I'm going to treat it that way. And it's going to give you an update with what's going on at Victory Chevrolet GMC. Bolts are apparently getting harder to find. They don't have that three-digit inventory anymore. So they've decided that they're going to branch out into another EV market, and the dealership has picked up a rather large number of used Tesla Model 3s that are all priced to qualify for that federal tax credit. So let's join him in the interview and get some more information. Right. Hello, Ty. We were visiting a little bit before I started recording and talking about how busy we've kind of both been.
Yeah.
So your dealership, Victory Chevrolet, Victory Chevrolet GMC, and is it in
hmm
Paola or Paola or
Paola, Kansas. That's right.
Paola, Kansas? I always hate it if I'm saying the name of the town wrong.
No, you're
Um,
fine.
you have looked on the website right before I opened the Zoom and noticed that you still have your website says 60 used Chevy Bolts
That's right.
still in inventory, which
Yeah.
is quite a few, but it's also quite a lot fewer than you had last month. So
Yep. That's right.
I'm going to assume that they've been selling pretty well.
Oh yeah, there's a still pretty good flow for those.
And I'm also going to take a guess that they're starting to get a little harder to find at auction than they were a couple of months back.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right there. I mean, if they were as I'm not gonna say as easy, but the same as it was, a month, 2 months ago, we'd still be buying as many of them as we can. It's just tightening up a little bit at the auction, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to find some that we can sell for, a great value for the customer, and that's what's mostly important to us. So if we can't do it, we're not gonna, entertain that idea.
Well, especially since Chevrolet's not making any more of them. And
That's
over the
right.
last year, it's been widely reported on a lot of other EV channels that the Bolt is one of the best values, if not the best value in the EV market right now. But there are other cars that make good values in the EV market. And I hear that your dealership has branched out into some other types of vehicles that share kind of a good value mark, right?
Yeah.
Now, your dealership just purchased a bunch of Tesla Model 3s. Um, is that because the bolts were getting harder to find, or because you wanted to offer other types of electric vehicles?
So it's a little bit of both. Obviously, us not being able to maintain the same amount of inventory of the bolts as we had been the last few months does play a role in that. So we were trying to find something that, would be also a great value, and something that we think that would do really well for our store. Um, and that's when we kind of came across these Tesla Model 3s. And we said, you know what, let's give it the same shot that we did the bolts. And as of right now, it's starting to take off just like the Chevy Bolts did. The only issue that we've been really having is just getting them here in a timely manner. I'd say that the shipping delays to get them to our dealership has been uh, a little bit more uh, difficult than with the Bolts. That's the only thing I'd say there. But yeah, we've tried to branch out into the EV world in general because of the success that it's had, and just the demand for it mostly.
All right. And so, where did these cars come from?
So they're coming from either Hertz or Tesla. Um, one of those two is where we're getting them from.
So, so they're either former rental cars or they're lease turn turn-ins. What is it called when someone turns it in at the end of
Lease
the lease?
returns, yeah, lease returns.
Yeah,
Yep.
lease return. It's simple. It's always the simple phrases. So they're going to have, a lease return is going to have relatively low miles, and a rental might not.
Yeah.
Um, I've checked a few of the listings, noticed that several of them are lease returns. And and you've answered the next question that I had prepared. We did that one already, so I'll just kind of
Oh,
skip.
sorry about that.
Hey, nothing wrong with going a little fast. So I was looking, most of them that were in that in that low mileage range of those lease returns, they've been getting gobbled up really
Oh
fast.
yeah, they're going
I've been
quick.
noticing that this week. Um, and so they're there for I don't know how long. There are more coming though, because there's been delays on getting them shipped to your store. So
That's
we'll
right.
keep
Yeah.
watching the website and we'll see what's up for there. Now, some of those lease returns still have some of the basic uh, manufacturer warranty, the 4 year, 50,000 miles that came on it originally from Tesla. That's the bumper to bumper warranty. And most of the units are still within their manufacturer battery and electric drivetrain warranty. But for the units that are either out of their bumper to bumper or they might be a little over 100,000 miles, uh, is there any kind of warranty provided or is there warranties available?
So the only warranty that's going to come attached with it is our dealership 30 days or 1,000 miles driven, whichever the two comes first. It covers just the powertrain, 25% parts, 25% labor. As far as I know, we are not offering any extended service contracts on those vehicles at the moment.
Oh, okay. Now, what inspection process does your dealership put them through before they're offered for sale?
So we put it through our standard safety inspection. So it has to pass that before we let it go down the road. We want to make sure that the vehicle is safe above all else.
Okay. Now a Tesla's a computer on wheels. When I
Yeah.
was, and a lot of electric vehicles are, and when I was originally researching for my first EV a couple of years ago, I kind of compared the electric vehicle market to the smartphone market. Like the Tesla's the iPhone and everything else is the Android.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's a learning curve with an iPhone, and there's a learning curve with a Tesla. Uh, does your dealership do anything to kind of provide tutorials for the buyers or send links or something like that?
So we have we found a plethora of great resources. Video YouTube videos, great articles, and I myself I'm becoming more knowledgeable on them by the day. And so what I think, depending on how the Tesla market goes for us, I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start kind of doing little walkthrough videos that I can record for myself to have on hand if a customer asks me any kind of question to kind of show them, whatever common issue they might run into. I think that that is something that might help along the line, and that's something that will be available to anybody that needs it.
Whether they want to, learn how to operate the adaptive cruise control, how to get through the screen menus, how to change their drive mode, or how they want to make the car fart when you turn on the turn signal. One of
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Now you mentioned in our last interview that most of the buyers that you'd had for your bolts, or at least this is the impression that I got, that they were cash buyers or they had secured their financing elsewhere. Does your dealership offer any kind of financing for people who don't have that yet?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We use 25 to 35 different credit unions, banks that have just as competitive interest rates as anybody else right now. We've got a finance team that's been in the business for years, so they really know what they're doing too.
Now this is important, and I probably should have said this earlier, that every one of the Tesla Model 3s that I've seen on your website has been priced below the $25,000 price cap, making them all eligible for the $4,000 used EV tax credit. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yep. That's our goal. Yeah.
And is it possible for someone to just use that tax credit as their down payment if they were to finance it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so it turns it out to be a really good deal. So you're looking at uh, a used Tesla for at the high point $25,000 that's you'd be able to get for 21 that may have
Yeah.
as little as 40, 42, 46,000 miles on it.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, so how you said it's starting to take off. How quickly are these Model 3s selling compared to the Bolts when you started com compiling that inventory?
So honestly, I'd say it's right on pace for what the Chevy Bolts did, and are still doing. I've still probably sold. I probably sell one to two Bolts uh, every other day, I'd say. And our dealership is still chugging them out. The Teslas, it's just a matter of getting the vehicle here. because it's definitely a vehicle that, anytime you're dealing with an out-of-state customer, which is a majority of what we are helping, they want to see the vehicle. So it's just a matter of getting it here. But as soon as they get here, man, they don't stick around for long.
Okay. Now, the last question that I want to ask you is, could you just walk us through? And people are looking. I'm glancing. I got my questions written over here because I'm too stupid to have a teleprompter.
No, you're fine.
Um,
I've got mine written down right here too.
so, could you walk us through the purchase process for someone, especially for someone who is purchasing over the internet and out of state, that might need the vehicle shipped?
Absolutely. It's a pretty simple process. And sometimes it can be done in a very timely manner. We try to make everything as streamlined as possible, because time is valuable. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to locate the right vehicle, make sure we find the right one for the customer. Once we've done that, I'm going to send them, or anybody at our dealership will send them, a full-blown walk-around video of the vehicle. We want to address and highlight any of the issues that we see, whether it's cosmetic or, usually it's cosmetic issues that we like to point out because nobody likes surprises.
Right.
After that, we kind of make sure we get the figures ironed out, like the sales figures. After we've done that, I'll gather whatever customer information I need. So if you're doing the tax credit, I have to have a picture of the front and back of your driver's license and your social security number so I can plug it into the IRS site. No different than the bolts. After I do that, and everything is, we've determined how you're paying, whether it's financing with one of our lenders, one of your lenders, or you're just paying flat out cash, which is money wiring because that's what we accept for out of state buyers. After we've done all that, our finance team and myself will print off all the necessary docs. We'll email them to you. You'll sign them and scan them back to us, or we have a handful of lenders that require wet ink signatures. So scan them to you, you'll sign them, and then mail it back to us, and we'll provide a postage for that as well. And then after that happens, we get all the documents back and they're verified, and everything looks good, and the funds have cleared, and we have them in house. I get it listed for shipping, and I'd say probably within a day of it being posted for transport, somebody picks up the contract, and then it's usually the vehicle's delivered within 1 to 3 business days after that.
Depending, of course, on how far the deliveries
Yeah,
are.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That's all the questions that I have. Is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time again.
Oh,
I
no
really
problem.
appreciate the
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 last
fun that
interview
this
got a
has
lot
been.
of views, so
Yeah,
hope-
no, that was a good time, and I was able to help out quite a bit of clientele that found me from from the video. So that was awesome.
and just before we wrap up, how should people get in touch with you?
Okay, let's see. I think that the easiest way to do it is to call the dealership, and that phone number, my direct line there, actually, my office line is going to be area code 913-557-0932. You can call the main line if you'd like to. You just have to ask for Ty. They'll transfer you over to me. Or you can send me an email. And my email address is thosmann@victorykc.com. I'm here to help anybody that I can.
All right. Now, the last question that I could think of is, who do you have in the game on Sunday?
I got the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs. I think they'll take the 49ers. Not saying it's going to be easy, but I think they're going to pull out the win.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude our interview for today. So I'll just say thank you very much for watching. Hope you found this video informative, and please subscribe for some more content.